Alright, I think it's time to get started. Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Looks like we're good to go. You guys are gonna have to bear with me tonight. I'm starting 2 hours later because my brother sent me to the store. And I haven't done dinner yet, so I made myself some popcorn. How I'm going to read this while eating popcorn, I know not. Hopefully there will be a lot of talking in Act 3, which, considering we're getting close to the end, I imagine will be the case. I will do my best not to, like, chew unmuted. I personally hate that. Alright, let's see. Where were we last time? Gosh. I guess right here? I really don't want this to be... Well, we are getting later into the series, so... Hey! How are you today? We are getting a little later into the series. We're in Act 3. So the CG that we have collected is starting to get a little bit more gruesome. I'm doing pretty good. I kind of started stream late. But we're making it. I'm super excited to hopefully finish. I mean, I've got these 4, and then whatever this was up here, I think we missed that, so that's probably a different route. But I'm super excited to see if we unlock all these in Act 3 today. So, our first CG from last time. We met the Herald from the Human Disposal Service, I think is what they're called. We requested the death of the person they were working with, and then watched, or rather came in after the fact, but saw them supposedly stabbing him to death. We later realized that this was a hoax because our boy Koji had his body at the morgue and realized this is not the same person that they intended to die. Oh, okay, awesome. I'm actually in the US. So the Herald ran off when we tried to approach them. And Act 2 was done in Kojiro's POV, so we got to see some of Koji's backstory. The day, I guess, he was going to propose to his now ex-girlfriend, she got hit by a car. I think in the shock of it all, he dragged her body back to his apartment, where he actually kept her in a closet. There's a lot of plot armor. It seems no cops involved in that. Hey, how are you today? And that's kind of where she stayed. As you can actually see from this picture, he tied her up in the closet after she died, and filled the closet with pretty much anything that was kind of frowned upon that he was into. All of his books by Nobel Sinclair, some other miscellaneous things involving corpses or whatever he's fascinated with, all the macabre genre things. So we also found out that his old apartment is our MC's current apartment. So that's also a very interesting thing. And then lastly, I don't even know how to explain this part, but in an attempt to find a body to match their current victim, he found someone who looked similar, and they've been kind of putting makeup on these corpses to look like their victims, to scare their victims into killing themselves. However, this particular corpse didn't have an arm. Now, Kojiro here is infatuated with our MC, and our MC, in kind of the frantic state she's in to get this body done, she was like, well, he can't be armless. You gotta find an arm for him. And so Kojiro, in his infinite wisdom, was like, you know what? I want to prove myself to her. I want to cut off my own arm to put on this dead guy. Hey, how are you today? And so, he cuts off his own arm, and in the aftermath, he's obviously, that's taken a serious toll on his body. He's not all together. Someone comes in behind him, actually ends up being the guy we thought supposedly had died here, and lights the morgue on fire. So that kind of leads into Act 3, which is in the eyes of Noriko's best friend, Aoi. So that's where we'll pick up. Oh, I'm so mad. I really wish I could scream at him. I really, really, really want to scream. Let me get my water bottle real quick. But he's one of my best customers. I just wish you could take the rules seriously.
I said no free refills.
The squeak of my voice surprises even me. Gosh, I've never yelled at a customer before. It feels so liberating. I feel free. The customer hangs his head. He looks as guilty as I feel on the inside. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have raised my voice at him. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I'm going to get fired for this. I just know it.
Sorry, Miss Aoi. I'll never ask again, I promise.
Make sure you don't.
So serious. That's it. Don't let him see you back down. Be firm, girl. Stand up for yourself. The customer scurries away and I nearly faint from the adrenaline pounding through me. What a rush. I can't believe I didn't back down.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
When I feel like I've calmed down, I fetch a cloth and begin to wipe down some tables. This place hasn't been too busy lately. I still shake when I think about the incident last month that drove away a lot of our customers. That man, that tall, scary man with the glasses and an evil face. He hurt my sweet little Junpei. He cornered him in this very cafe and stabbed his fingers with cutlery. What kind of sick freak does such a thing? I know there's something between those two. I can't ever forget the time that man left Junpei all bruised and broken on the ground outside his apartment. Grr. I hate that man. Who does he think he is, bullying my sweetheart? A pleasant little chime rings out from my pocket, and I recognize it as a notification I set to let me know when the cafe is closing.
Phew. Guess I better get going.
Luckily for me, I'm not on closing duty tonight. My coworkers will take care of all that. All I need to do is sign out of the employee app on my phone, and my full shift will be automatically recorded. Then, I'll get paid on time, just like usual.
Bye, everyone.
I wave farewell to the other girls and duck out of the front door. As usual, my cute little honeybee is waiting for me outside. Oh god, she already is like making me want to gag.
Sup, baby doll?
Junpei,
I rush into his arms and give him a big, snuggly cuddle.
I'm so happy to see you.
Of course, babe. I'm always here for you. How was your shift?
not so bad.
Glad to hear it. Guess things really have changed around here.
Yep. It's so much better since the old manager left.
Oh, I wonder if that's why he had a change of heart. He was gone.
Good, good. You come tell Junpei if anyone else gives you trouble, yeah?
I will.
I nuzzle into his broad chest once more and immediately feel safe and warm.
Can I come back to your place?
Yes.
He holds my hand and leads me towards the train station. I'm so excited to be with him again.
Would you like tea, my dear?
Whoa now, Sugar Plum. You've been serving drinks to people all day. You go kick your feet up and I'll do the brewing.
Junpei is so thoughtful. Every word he says makes it clear how much he cares for me.
Thank you.
I heed his instruction and nestle myself comfortably into the sofa. As I wait for him to finish up in the kitchen, I scroll through my noise feed. I don't have many friends on here, mainly just family members, but I still like to see what everyone is up to lately. Plus, Junpei always shares funny memes and pics on his profile, so I love seeing those. After scrolling for a minute, I come across a status update from a friend I haven't heard from in a while. Noriko Kurosawa. No Kurosawa, 2 hours ago. Heath 3? What is that supposed to be?
What does that mean?
Her entire post is short and meaningless. It just says, He3. What on earth could she mean by that? When was the last time I talked to Noriko, anyway? She used to call me all the time. I used to call her, too. But somewhere along the line, we fell out of touch. After I introduced her to Junpei, I kinda got a feeling she was jealous. Noriko always had feelings for me. Maybe being introduced to my boyfriend really hurt her. Oh, now I feel terrible.
Your tea, my love!
Junpei sets down 2 teacups on a small coffee table in front of the sofa. Steam rises slowly from both cups. The sight and scent immediately relaxes me.
Thank you, Pumpkin.
They have a new name every time they refer to each other. Junpei scoots onto the sofa right next to me, and he leans his head on my shoulder. I raise a hand and run it through his hair as I continue scrolling through noise with my other hand. A post from a guy I went to school with, Shinya Fujikawa, grabs my attention. Shinya with a capital S, Fujikawa, 5 hours ago. One step closer to solving the mystery of the deaths around Tokyo. Helping my father, Senior Detective Fujikawa, collect evidence from the crime scenes. It's like a dream come true. Thank you, Father. Interesting. I think Shinya always wanted to be a detective. Come to think of it, we were supposed to work together at Temujin. Shinya lined up that job for me and I...
Who's this dude?
Junpei's gaze is fixated on Shinya's profile picture.
Oh, Shinya?
I tap on his picture and load his full profile.
We went to school together.
I scan through his profile and read some more of his recent posts. Shinya with a capital S, Fujikawa, 2 days ago. My father, Senior Detective Fujikawa, has enlisted me to help with this top-secret investigation. Can't divulge any further information. My lips are sealed. Top secret! 4 days ago. So happy I managed to get a lead on this case. I submitted some information to the senior detective in charge of the serial murders around Tokyo, Senior Detective Fujikawa, who just happens to also be my father, and he said I can join the investigation team as a probationary member.
This guy has a real father complex, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Maybe.
7 days ago. No one tells you what to expect when you experience heartbreak. No one tells you how hollow and empty you feel. It's important to throw yourself into your work. I will do so.
Heartbreak? Something about this dude tells me he's never had a girlfriend in his life.
You would be wrong, but he does come off that way.
Huh. I wonder...
Shinya, 8 days ago. Farewell, my love. I'm sorry I couldn't be the man you wanted me to be. To Tomoe Watanabe, my soulmate, my other half, my one and everything. Please forgive me. What in the world?
Jeez, have some dignity, dude.
Wow. He really likes to share everything, doesn't he? I swear, he never used to be this dramatic.
Junpei yawns and puts his arm around me. A classic move. He's so sweet and romantic. I put my phone down and snuggle into his body. He's like a big, soft teddy bear.
I should get going once I finish this cup of tea.
Really? Do you have to go?
Yeah, sorry, babe. I gotta check in on Mom tonight.
Oh, okay.
You'll be okay, right?
Mm,
The thought of being alone forms a pit in my stomach.
Don't worry, I'll help you out before I leave.
thank you.
Junpei takes one last sip of his tea and gets on his feet.
I'll check the usual stuff.
Yes, please.
He walks behind the sofa and ruffles my hair with his rough hand. The bandages wrapped around his fingers feel coarse against my scalp. As he wanders around my small apartment, he calls out to me.
Oven and stovetop are both switched off. The kitchen tap is off, no drips.
He moves into the bathroom and his voice echoes against the tiled wall.
Tap is off in here too. And the shower is off.
Finally, he moves to the front door.
I'll lock this door properly when I walk out. You just have to put the deadbolt in place, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Anytime, sugar. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Love.
Painful. It's just funny. With that, Junpei walks out the door and closes it behind him. I quickly dash from the sofa to the door and slide the deadbolt into place.
All done. The door is locked. The door is locked. The door is locked.
I take a deep breath and tiptoe back to the sofa, then collapse onto it. Junpei is so good to me. He truly helps me out. When I'm alone, I find it so hard to be sure that everything is in order. I can't sleep or leave the apartment if there's a possibility that I've left the tap running or an appliance switched on. I can't relax if I think the door might be unlocked. I have to check things again and again until there's no shadow of a doubt that things are the way that they should be. I don't remember when this obsessive-compulsive behavior first started, but I've been battling it for as long as I can recall. At the very least, when Junpei is here, he checks everything for me. He's so good to me. It saved me so much time. It stopped me from having to stand in front of the kitchen sink for 5 minutes, constantly checking and double-checking if the tap is running. Logically, I know it's easy to see if the water is flowing from the faucet. You can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it if you slip your hand underneath the flow. But logic rarely applies when I find myself second-guessing my own senses. I can glance at the faucet and tell myself that it's been turned off properly, it's not dripping. But then when I turn away, what if I'm wrong? What if it's actually still running? I feel like my mind is betraying me. I feel like I can't trust anything I see or hear. When in doubt, it should be a simple matter of just quickly checking one more time. But the more I check, the less certain I become. And it's not just the faucet I have trouble dealing with. It's nearly everything. I unplug appliances from the power sockets to make sure they're definitely not still running. I flick light switches on and off 20 times in a row to ensure I haven't left a bulb on when I leave a room. I open and close doors repeatedly. The locks are the worst. I have to examine them from every possible angle to convince myself that no one can possibly break in. My condition is completely and utterly fucked up. Struggling against it has caused other horrible afflictions to evolve inside me. Anxiety, depression, self-hatred. I feel like I can't do anything without the shadow of my compulsive behaviors looming over me and controlling me. And so tonight, like many other nights, I decide to sleep right where I am, here on the sofa. Getting up and going to my bedroom is too much effort. Sleeping where I am is just much, much easier. I begin to drift off, my face planted against the sofa cushion, my legs draped over the armrest. That is rough. September 21st, Monday, morning. I'm thankful I don't have to work at the maid cafe today. My neck is a little sore from a terrible night's sleep, but I won't let that get me down. It's Monday, the start of a fresh, brand new week. I've got lots of exciting things to look forward to. For starters, I'm expecting a delivery of some items I ordered online over the weekend. It's mostly snack food, but still, I can't wait. Secondly, I'll get to see my Junpei again this afternoon. I'm going to meet him when he finishes work. Third, my favorite anime airs on Monday nights. There's a new episode every week, well, except for when they run repeats after a season just finished. Junpei loves anime as much as I do. Granted, he's not into my favorite series. He says it's a little too girly, but he likes a lot of other shows. We have so much fun discussing characters and stories we like, even if the shows he watches scares me a little bit. Yes, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good week. My upbeat mood is instantly shattered when Noriko Kurosawa's name lights up my phone screen. Oh no! Why would Noriko kill her mood? I don't understand. She's calling me? We haven't spoken in so long. Why? What does she want from me? Noriko, she's such a chore. Oh no. She whines and complains so much about her life, but she doesn't know how good she has it. So what if she's scared of leaving her apartment? Agoraphobia isn't that bad. I'm scared of everything. Everything. She's so selfish, thinking she's the only one who has it rough. I'm so tired of tiptoeing around her feelings and her stupid sensitivities.
Hello? Aoi? Hi, Noriko. Hey, listen. I know it's been a while, but can I stay at your place for a few days? I got booted out of my apartment for not paying the rent, and, well, I was living in this abandoned factory, but I can't do it anymore. I hate being there alone. The guy I was spending time with just disappeared, and now... Aoi? Are you there?
Is this crazy bitch for real? She hasn't spoken to me for weeks, months, and now she wants to live in my apartment?
Aoi? Sorry, Noriko.
I'm really sitting here like, man, this don't sound like Aoi at all. At least not what we knew of her. Especially with the way she was, like, so thankful to Noriko for getting her that job. She seems like the ungrateful one, to be completely honest right now.
You can't stay here. Well, fuck you too.
Wow. My phone beeps twice and the call abruptly ends. What the hell is her problem? Before I can even blink, she calls me again. I'm hesitant to answer this time, but...
Noriko? Sorry, I overreacted. I think I'm in trouble. I think Corpse Girl is trying to kill me, and I need somewhere safe to stay.
Oh, that's what you want to invite into your own home. Corpse Girl is trying to kill her? I think Noriko has finally lost the plot. Whatever sliver of sanity she once held onto has finally slipped between her fingers.
Corpse Girl isn't trying to kill you. What? How would you know? You are Corpse Girl. Remember? What? How do you... I'm the one who wants to kill you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to fucking murder you in your sleep.
Noriko's silence convinced me that her memory is returning. Perhaps she called me in some delirious state or because of some fever dream.
Shit.
The call disconnects as she curses. That stupid bitch. Did she seriously forget who she was talking to? I've had it up to here with her. As soon as Junpei works out the location of her factory, I'm going to go there myself and slit her throat open with my fingernails. So why not just let her stay the night at your place? I don't... What? I'll let her bleed out all over me and tell her that she never meant a thing to me. I don't care how much she loves me, I'll end her life quickly before she has a chance to confess her feelings with one last gasping, dying breath. Once Noriko is dead, the human removal service will no longer have any competition. And I'll finally be able to take her place as Corpse Girl. Alright, well, they just threw that one at us. During our school years, I was always envious of Noriko. She was so beautiful, so slim and graceful, and she had a wonderful family, parents that loved her more than anything. I never had any of that. I wanted so badly to be her. I struggled with my weight back then, but that wasn't the worst of it. I had an abusive mother and a father that essentially ignored my existence. Well, until he killed me by splitting my neck open. What? I would have given anything to trade places with Noriko and feel alive again. It didn't matter to me that Noriko complained about every aspect of her life. She moaned about how much she despised her delinquent sister. She griped about how her father walked out on her, but still sent her a birthday card every year. She lamented over the time her mother tried to kill herself in front of her and her sister, how her mother hung from the ceiling barely alive for hours and hours until Yuriko figured out how to call for the ambulance. But I would have taken all of that trauma over my own upbringing. I'd have traded my life for hers without a second thought. Noriko had no idea how lucky she was. No, I think they're both kind of messed up. Even after all these years, I never really overcame my envy of her. I even went so far as to request her death through Corpse Girl's website. Of course she didn't die. How could she have? Junpei figured it out before I did. He forced his way into Corpse Girl's website and viewed all the death requests. Someone, Noriko, had placed a comment on the request I submitted. A single line of text never intended to be seen by other eyes. That's me, bitch. Knowing that she had become Corpse Girl made my jealousy grow. I wanted to take her place. I want people to fear me, just like they feared her. I wanted any other life, anything that would let me escape my own hellish half-existence. Thanks to trawling through her website, Junpei soon figured out the whole thing was essentially a hoax. Corpse Girl had no ability to cause death. Noriko was simply trying to con people into ending their own lives. It was pathetic. It made me laugh. I decided I would play along with Noriko's delusions in order to ensure her downfall. It's finally time. I get to meet Junpei at the station and walk him home, yay! The Noise Corporation office is within walking distance from Shinjuku train station. Getting there is a breeze. Junpei works on the 13th floor of the massive office complex. He's one of the top dogs. He's worked really hard to get where he is. I'm so proud of him. It's kind of funny to think that I almost got a job near here. The Temujin building is so close to Junpei's office. Noriko and Shinya hooked me up, but I completely bailed on them. Oh well, at the time I had no idea the love of my life worked nearby. I think I'm right on time, so Junpei should be here any second. As I wait patiently, a familiar-looking girl climbs the stairs and wanders past me. Her outfit is kind of unprofessional. I wonder if she's an office employee. She looks like a troublemaker. Where have I seen her before? She caught me staring at her. Oh no, she's walking towards me.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
No time to run away. She's right in front of me.
Yeah, you're Noriko's friend, right? Aoi?
Noriko's friend. Everything always about fucking Noriko.
Yes, and you are...
The brash girl swoops her hair out of her face and leers at me.
Tomoe, a friend of hers as well.
Oh,
I suddenly remember where I've seen Tomoe before. I think she was in some of Shinya's photos. Is she the girl that Shinya was dating and broke up with?
How is Noriko?
Dunno. Was hoping you could tell me. Haven't seen that skank in weeks.
I see. I haven't seen her either.
Righto. Well, we'll see you around.
Just like that, the girl brushes past me and doesn't even look back.
Bye.
I watch her as she wanders along the platform.
Yo, babe!
Junpei.
What up, doll? Hey, that chick you were just talking to? She works at Temuchin. I see her walking around here all the time. She's the one I told you about.
Wait, that's her?
Yup. She used to help that Kochiro asshole deliver putties for Corpse Girl. I've been waiting for ages to introduce you to. Oh!
I nod at Junpei and immediately break into a run.
Go get her, babe.
Junpei's cheers fade as I leave him behind. Tomoe, she's the one helping Noriko, helping Corpse Girl. We've been waiting for a chance to follow her. Junpei has been keeping an eye on her, but her actions and movements are erratic and hard to predict. But today I fortunately have the opportunity to follow her. Junpei is a working member of society. Unbelievable. Yeah, no kidding. She's connected to so many people. Noriko, Kojiro, Shinya. They're all involved with Corpse Girl's operation. We want to track them all down one by one and cremate them like cadavers. Of course, I'm saving Noriko for last. I'll slice her open and bathe in her blood and be born again from her corpse. I'll assume her identity and live her life and leave my own painful existence behind. I race along as fast as my legs will let me, my feet pound against the train platform, and several people passing by stop to watch me out of curiosity. As long as Tomoe doesn't notice I'm tailing her, then I won't care who sees me. I follow her all the way to the end of the platform, then I blend into the crowd as we board the same train. I knock on the door to what I can only assume is Tomoe's apartment. She answers after just a moment and shoots me a quizzical look. As soon as the door is all the way open, I dash forward and slam into Tomoe with full force of my tiny body.
What the fuck?
We tumble into the apartment, though Tomoe doesn't even lose her balance. She's a lot bulkier than I am. She absorbs most of the impact and manages to remain standing. She grits her teeth and plants her hands on my shoulders, only to push me back with a mighty shove.
What the fuck are you playing at? You just tackled me!
I swing a fist at her face. She catches me off guard when she sidesteps my punch and brings her knee up into my gut. I reel back, but the injury doesn't bother me.
Take that, you dumb skank! I'll teach you to attack me! I don't care if you're Noriko's friend! I'll put you in the fucking ground!
Her long, fake nails rake across my face and blood pours from my torn skin. But I stand firm and stare her down.
You're allied with Corpse Girl, right?
Is that what this is about? I don't give a shit about all that anymore. It's all behind me.
You know Corpse Girl's identity?
Of course I do. Why? Are you curious? Got someone you want to have killed?
No. I know that it's Noriko.
You're damn right. I should have guessed that a friend of hers would be just as psychotic. Noriko can go fuck herself for all I care. I'm done with her shit.
So am I. I'm going to kill her.
Tomoe raises an eyebrow.
Not so? Well, she kinda has it coming.
I see.
Corpse Girl is done and dusted. Doubt the public even remembers her these days. It's all about the human removal service. Noriko's just Noriko now. But I still won't forgive her for what she did to Kojiro.
What is she talking about? Does she know something I don't?
What happened to Kojiro?
Do you even know who he is?
I do.
He warned me about her, you know? He said she'd discard us as soon as we weren't useful anymore. Sure enough, she had him killed. Fucking burned him alive.
Oh boy. Interesting. Tomoe thinks Noriko killed Kojiro, when in reality, Junpei took care of that freak. He burned the entire morgue down around him. I suppose Kojiro's death caused Noriko's and Tomoe's relationship to fall apart. Everything worked out better than Junpei planned.
Noriko will die. And so will you for your role in helping her.
Oh, come on. Why are you so insistent on messing with me? I ain't never done nothing to ya. Hang on.
Even though this girl exudes an air of stupidity, I didn't expect her to actually be this dense. Surely she's figured it out by now.
Are you with the human removal service?
I don't say anything.
You're kidding me. You're the one Noriko has been fighting against this whole time. And you're her best friend.
Your point?
Are you the leader of your little group?
No.
Right.
When Tomoe pauses to brush her hair behind her ear, I strike. My hand darts forward and grips her throat, and I begin to crush it between my fingers. The girl kicks and flails. She beats her fists against my outstretched arm, but I don't flinch. Her gurgling and thrashing brings me no joy. I wish people would simply accept their fate. Despite how tightly I'm squeezing her throat, she manages to form the beginning of a word. I can only guess that she's trying to call for Shinji. I'm sorry, Shinya. I don't know why I called him Shinji. Shinya, the idiot boy she already broke up with. He can't save her now. I tighten my grip and stride forward, pushing Tomoe back and pinning her against the wall. She kicks out at me and hits me directly in the knee. I refuse to buckle. Her fingers continuously claw at my arm, slashing into the flesh and sending flecks of blood across the room. She thinks she can hurt me, thinks she can fight her way out of her fate, but nothing she does will ever injure me. You can't hurt the dead. This thought repeats in my mind as my face crashes into the floor. A ringing sound in my ears causes me to question what just happened. The residual shockwaves of a dull impact to my skull flow through my head. I wouldn't call it pain or even an ache, just a sensation that something collided with me. But I'm already on the floor, my lips pressed against the hard wood, my eyes twitching and examining shards of pottery falling to the floor around me. A blanket of darkness descends over me, and I hear the ragged sound of Tomoe breathing and someone's voice asking, "Are you okay?" But the question isn't directed at me. I don't think anyone cares that I'm lying here in my own blood. And no one should. You just tried to kill Tomoe, possibly the most innocent and normal character in this story. Besides Shinya. I can't count how many movies I've seen where characters claim that they've had an out-of-body experience. I've heard the stories in real life too. People on the brink of death or unconsciousness tell tales of how they could view their own body from a lofty spiritual perch. I've never put much stock into such nonsense. How can someone dead or dying view the world from any form of clarity? With any form of clarity. When I died all those years ago, I didn't experience any such thing. It was kinda disappointing, even though I didn't expect much. Being clubbed across the head in Tomoe's apartment was a completely different experience than the time glass shards pierced my neck. I feel like I'm teetering on the edge of consciousness, writhing around on the hard floor. I can see some light, some blurred shapes, and I can see my body down below. My body delicate and frail and slowly decaying. I don't get it. Why would I have an out-of-body experience now of all times? I sure as hell didn't experience anything of the sort when my father slit my neck. So why now? I wonder if any of my victims ever suffered from hallucinations like this before dying. Did Kitome Ida And all those people on the train platform experienced this after I cut them open? Wait, what? Did they also helplessly look down on their own bodies from above as the train screeched past? Emi Katsuno. Boy, did she scream when I pushed her over the balcony railing. So, even deaths that Corpse Girl thinks she did are also owie. Wow, that's... Ooh. Did her spirit leave her body to look down on her splattered corpse? What about the other nameless souls I've claimed from Noriko's website? There have been so many bodies piled up, countless gifts pledged in Corpse Girl's name. I didn't kill them because I wanted to shed blood. I did it to delude Noriko. That was the goal at the start, anyway. Noriko never caught on to what I was doing. She took all the credit, thinking she was some all-powerful being in control of the fate of her victims. She never even tried to understand the truth. Yeah, she, for a time, thought that there was a third-party person, and then kind of dismissed that as her plans would find a way to finish themselves, or she would get them done with her, Kojiro, and Tomoe. I slaved away for her, cutting and strangling and slashing and slicing. I piled up bodies for Noriko, but Corpse Girl claimed all the kills. It was a pointless endeavor. I think she would have spiraled into madness even without the power trip. I suppose it doesn't matter now, things have changed. My only focus now is to kill Noriko. I should have done so right at the start. I'll kill her for wasting my time. As I look down on my body below, I see a girl too scared to go on, too scared to struggle anymore. It's a shame. If I wasn't killed years ago, I might have had a chance to live a normal life. Well, there's nothing else for it. The other thing is that it does seem like Aui's got something mental definitely going on too, so who knows how much of this is real or not. I feel my spirit returning to my body. It's a strange sensation because I know I'm not returning to life. How could I? I've been dead far too long. My only chance is to claim Noriko's life for my own. I'll become her and discard this rotting, walking corpse. September 22nd, Tuesday morning. I can hardly see without my glasses. Everything is blurry, foggy, lacking a solid outline. Colors bleed into other colors. Blue blends into purple and yellow melts into brown. It doesn't help that I'm partially colorblind. Never had much luck telling red and green apart anyway. Without my glasses, I'm practically blind, helpless.
You're finally awake. Fucking skank.
She spits at me, and her filthy saliva drips down the side of my face. It's warm. I try to lash out at her, only to find my arms have been bound to my side. I try to scream out, but my mouth is gagged with what I can only assume is a sock. I try to lunge forward, but I'm strapped tightly to the wooden chair I'm sitting in.
I can't believe this. This is so strange. I just...
Shut up, Shinya. Jeez.
Sorry.
I think Shinya's reaction is probably a normal reaction. Hey, how are you? Game's going pretty good so far. We're in the third act now. The blurred forms of Tomoe and Shinya are pacing the room. Even without my full vision, I can tell that the room is bright. Sunlight is pouring in from the open window. Just how much time passed since I was knocked unconscious? And why have they tied me up here? I scream in the mouth gag, somehow loud enough to capture their attention. I'm under the impression that the reason that you can only see them kind of like partially right now is because we're looking at it through Aui's eyes. And if you notice, the background is also a little blurred, and everything has kind of like a opacity to it. Aui's not wearing her glasses right now. So I think she's having a hard time seeing them, and thus so are we. Otherwise, something's wrong with the game, because no, they're not dead. Tomoe strides towards me and pulls the damp sock from my mouth.
What? What do you want?
I mumble something about being unable to see. Tomoe swears, stumbles around for a bit, then forcefully pushes my glasses onto my face. There
What
we
are
go.
you going to do to me?
I don't know. That's up to this genius.
Her arm gestures towards Shinya, and pointed finger loaded with accusation.
Me? Look, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I just saw you were in trouble, so...
I believe the normal thing to do in this situation is to call the cops. Something that has not happened a single time in this series, as far as I'm aware.
Why are you here anyway? We're done. Over.
Well, I take that back. It's happened once at the mall.
I wanted to see you.
Ah!
I'm not in the mood for their lover's quarrel.
Let me go. Or bury me. Either way, don't keep me here.
You nearly killed me, bitch! It's taken all my strength not to murder you right here!
Go ahead. Try it. You can't kill the dead.
You're a freak.
Let me call my father. I'm sure he can take her in for questioning. He can find out her motives for attacking you.
I already know why she attacked me. She's trying to take down everyone associated with
With corporate what? Because you can't say corpse girl. Tomoe cuts herself short.
Never mind that.
I wonder. Is Shinya not privy to Tomoe's relationship with Corpse Girl? Intriguing. As Tomoe's former boyfriend, I simply assumed he was part of the operation. I thought he was an accomplice. If he doesn't know anything, then I don't need to kill him. One less person to deal with before I go after Noriko. However, I need to focus on getting out of here first.
If you let me go, I'll never bother you again.
A lie.
Why should I believe ya?
You shouldn't.
You followed me to my frickin' home!
I'm sorry.
Lie.
Then I'll exchange information for my release.
Yeah, corporate, not Corpse Girl.
I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Lie, lie, lie.
Like I care! I'm done with all the shit between Noriko and you!
Noriko? Has she got something to do with this?
Shut up, Shinya!
Shinya. Perhaps he's my ticket out of here. I turn my head to him and wait until he looks directly at me.
Shinya, I'm so thirsty. Can I have some water?
He pauses, but since Tomoe doesn't interfere, he ducked out of sight. He returns within seconds, holding a half-filled cup out to me.
Here.
I bob forward as best as I can against my restraints and take a sip of the lukewarm tap water.
Thank you.
It's worth noting how easy he is to manipulate. He's the complete opposite of my Junpei, who is strong and independent and doesn't let anyone mess with him.
So, about my offer. Will you let me go if I share information about the human removal service?
Shinya's face turns pale.
The human removal service? That's...
I really couldn't care less about all of that. I told you, I'm done with everything.
I see.
Tomoe. She might have information that can assist with my investigation. We have to accept her offer.
Oh, please. You're no cop as much as you fancy pretending to be one.
I already told you that Father accepted me as part of the investigation team.
You're a hack, a wannabe.
I feel like If I had to guess, Tomoe is doing this to kind of keep him out of danger. Because never in this whole series has she talked to him like that.
Why can't you just be happy for me?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Or maybe it's because she was also involved. It's hard to say. Tomoe storms off, the sheer force of her anger causing the walls to tremble. Shinya and I are alone in the room. That's a dangerous play. I don't waste another second.
Shinya, I don't know everything that's going on, but it sounds like you're trying to solve the murder cases, right?
That's right. I'm really helping the investigation team, you know?
That's good. Very good. Please, I have information that might help you. Will you let me go if I share it with you?
His nervous eyes dart around, searching for any sign of Tomoe's presence. And then he looks me dead in the eyes and says the very last thing I ever expected to hear.
I'll let you go if you help me kill Noriko Kurosawa.
What? What are we missing? Why would she leave him alone with her? Is she crazy? Yeah. Because I feel like she is a bit crazy. Yeah, no, I agree. They're all fucking... Tomoe is not in the right mind. I wouldn't say she's... Well, I mean, you gotta be a certain amount of crazy to be killing people like this, but... She's frustrated. And she doesn't always think.
This is your apartment?
This girl was trying to strangle your now ex-girlfriend. Why did you follow her home? Shinya, what is wrong with you?
Yes.
Please forgive me for intruding.
Shinya bows politely and removes his shoes. He places them carefully in front of the doorstep and takes a stride forward. No, he doesn't. Actually, if anybody dies in the series, it's probably going to be him. I mean, after all, he's now in her house. Like, I don't know how much worse it can get. He takes a good look around before turning to me.
You have a nice place.
I was gonna say she has an oddly nice place for some reason. Oh please, I wish he would cut the formalities. We're here to discuss serious business. He's acting like we're new co-workers or something. I walk over to the door and make sure it's fully closed. I slide the deadbolt into place.
The door is locked.
I whisper this under my breath so Shinya can't hear me.
The door is locked.
Repeating phrases like this become sort of a mantra. It helps me concentrate. When I'm about 90% sure the door is actually locked, I wander back to Shinya. It takes all of my willpower to refrain from turning back and checking once more. Thankfully, Shinya distracts me from my inner turmoil.
Is everything you told me true? I want to make sure I have all the facts straight.
Yes, it's true. All of it.
Truth intermingled with lies is still the truth, right? No, it's not. I don't know how I feel about Shinya. Like, he feels like the most pointless character, which makes me feel like he's gonna be more relevant towards the end. But he's just... I don't want to say he doesn't have any good merits. He definitely, like, he's just really plain, if that makes sense. It's just everything about him. His sweater, his haircut, his personality. Yeah, he's the craziest one of them all. And yes, he's naive. I lucked out when Tomoe left the two of us alone in her apartment. If I'd had to explain things to her, I would have had to give her inside information of the human removal services operation. Anything less could have clashed with her existing knowledge and caused her to doubt me. But since I only had to explain things to Shinya, I had already determined that Shinya wasn't in the loop, so I concocted a convincing lie in order to secure his cooperation. Speaking about him being crazy, I am interested as to why he wants Noriko dead. That's seemingly his only friend.
Just want to get my head around it. Noriko Kurosawa is Corpse Girl. She's the one that was behind the initial string of murders across the city. She delivered photos and corpses to her victims in order to convince them that they would die soon. And that had the effect of causing people to kill themselves. Almost a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Of course, all of this part is true, kind of. Shinya doesn't need to know that I acted behind the scenes and brought the victims low by my own hand. Those acts of violence almost seem like a distant memory now. I was so committed to aiding Noriko that I couldn't think of anything else. In the end, my assistance didn't help my own situation. It only propelled Noriko's ego into the stars and continued to suffer my cursed staff existence.
It wasn't long before another group started killing people in much the same ways Noriko did. A group called the Human Removal Service. It killed hundreds, if not thousands of people in the past months.
Again, all true so far.
And you were enslaved by Noriko?
Oh, Jesus.
Forced against your will to infiltrate the Human Removal Service and bring them down from the inside?
How did our little small non-threatening Noriko, I mean, other than her mind, there's nothing about her that she could have used to enslave anybody, as far as I'm aware.
That's right.
Maybe blackmail, I guess. He's a fucking idiot.
That explains why you want to kill Noriko. You want to be free from her, even if it isn't exactly the legal thing to do.
Legal? What kind of pedestal is this guy standing on? He specifically requested assistance to do the exact same thing. He wants Noriko dead, just like I do.
But if I remember correctly, you only managed to learn one important thing about the Human Removal Service, right?
Yes.
The group is made up of dozens of members. Dozens of people that all masquerade as the leader known as the Herald.
Oh, I wonder if
There's
that's
no
true.
single person responsible for the murders. It's the joint effort of a large group, all striking across the city simultaneously.
I dropped my popcorn.
Am I correct?
And there's the real kicker. He's absolutely spot on. I didn't mind sharing this tidbit of information with them. It does nothing to assist with his investigation. And wrapping the lie that I was Noriko's lackey in a blanket of truth makes everything all the more convincing.
Yes. That's right.
Phew, okay. I think I understand everything.
Don't say few. You just found out that there are many, many people all over the city killing.
Thank you for your help.
There's one thing I'm not entirely comfortable about. Shinya hasn't been forthcoming with his reasons for wanting Noriko dead. If I don't air the question, I feel like he will never address it.
Can you tell me why you want to kill Noriko?
He tries to back away from the question by twiddling his thumbs and pretending to examine the nearby wall.
Shinya, I need to know. Otherwise, how can I trust you?
Trust. It's a word that has always made me laugh. How can I trust anybody? I couldn't even trust my own parents, the people who swore to raise and protect me. My mother hit me when I misbehaved, when I overslept by 5 minutes or raised my voice ever so slightly. I was a child. How could I ever trust her not to lash out at me? My father, how could I ever trust him after he killed me? And Noriko. Noriko, the one friend I opened up to, the one person who knew all about my struggles. She betrayed me. She kept her perfect life out of reach, taunting me with it, dangling it in front of me like a carrot on a string. I mean, to be fair, she was in love with you. She didn't keep it from you. She wanted you to be a part of it. And when I asked her to share her life with me, and when I asked to share her life with her, she completely misinterpreted. She told me she loved me. She told me she wanted to be with me. She wanted to shower me with gifts, hold my hand, be intimate with me. She wanted to be my girlfriend, but how could I ever be intimate with her after all I went through? She didn't understand me. She didn't understand that I wanted to be her, not be with her. Fair. She wouldn't trade lives with me, so how could I ever trust her? Her life was both lives were pretty shit. How could I trust her when she said she loved me, but wasn't willing to make a sacrifice to make me happy? Everyone is full of shit. I'll never trust anybody again. Junpei spends every day trying to prove his love to me. He assists me with my compulsive behavior. He helps me do my shopping, helps to keep my apartment neat and tidy. Do I trust him? No. I know what he wants from me. He's no better than Noriko. He's willing to jump through hoops for me in the hopes that he'll eventually conquer my flesh. Even when he tries to help out with my compulsions, I don't have full faith in him. He takes it upon himself to complete my checklist of rituals in order to spare me the stress. But more often than not, I still have to go ahead and double check everything, just to make sure he didn't fuck anything up. If I can't even trust him with that, then I know I'll never be able to trust another soul with anything. Looking at Shinya now, pacing nervously around my apartment, I decide not to put any stock into what he says next. There's no way in hell that I'll believe whatever comes out of his mouth.
Noriko is my friend, but my father, Chief Detective Fujikawa, in case you didn't know, has declared her the prime suspect of our investigation. Thing is, Father isn't the most lenient person, and he's been cracking under stress lately. If he finds Noriko, if he arrests her, there will be no trial. She'll simply get life behind bars. Guaranteed.
And is death better than that? Shinya hangs his head, and I hear a quiet sob.
Is that our country's idea of justice? She doesn't deserve anything less than death for her crimes. Letting her live safely behind bars isn't a punishment. It's an act of mercy. I want to ensure Noriko receives true justice.
I
Fitting
see.
judgment for the lives she destroyed.
What an interesting way to word that, because like in the first half it was kind of leading us to believe he felt like letting her live was too harsh, but now, okay, confusion. What he's saying just doesn't add up. How does he know she won't receive the death penalty? It's true that it's not a common punishment, but it is still legal in this country, especially so for cases of mass murder. Does Shinya have information that I don't?
I need to find her.
Huh. Well, let's think about this for a second. Is that really what he's after? Yeah, I thought he was doing it as so messed up for mercy, but... Let me think. So, Aoi has known that Noriko is Corpse Girl ever since Junpei hacked into the site. I have to want. Ooh. I have no idea. I really don't. Like, this is kind of a stretch, what I'm thinking. So, we would only really know if his shoulder was messed up or something. But I am questioning if Shinya now is maybe the Herald? But that wouldn't explain the skirt, unless that was supposed to be like... Ah, gosh. Shinya's just dumb, yeah. I mean, that's possible.
I need to hand her the justice that my father is too cowardly to deliver.
And since when is she the #1 suspect? Whatever. I'm already sick of this guy. He acts like he's been personally wronged by Noriko's crimes, like he's so high and mighty and knows what's best. I doubt he knew a single person that Noriko killed. That's not true.
Fine. To be honest, I don't really care about your reasons. As long as you want Noriko dead, then our goals are the same. But I have to ask, will you turn yourself into the police after you kill her?
Once again, Shinya hangs his head.
I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't.
See, because from what I recall of us meeting the Herald really only responded to Noriko's voice so much. But it's not like it would have been a surprise for them if it was Aoi. I mean, in the event that the Herald is really just like a bunch of people, which she said is true, it could have been just anybody, but to only respond to Noriko is kind of the interesting takeaway from that situation. So, I don't know. I'm really struggling to like wrap my head around exactly where she is. Shinya really so knee deep in justice that he's like, you know, this has got to be a death sentence. And if so, I am questioning why there would be no trial. She'd just get jail time. Like, why is that? You would think that when they found her, they'd want to make a big show of it to be like, hey, nobody else can do this. We caught the culprit. We know how to find you, and use it as a scare tactic for anybody who might want to copy her in the future. So, I don't know. Kind of a weird thing. Yeah. But at least a trial happens. I mean, I know Japan is a little bit different, so it's hard to say. He leaves the sentence hanging in midair. It wasn't exactly a confirmation.
There's only one problem. I have no idea where Noriko's hiding.
Which is a shame, because she literally called you this morning asking to stay at your place. Yeah, you would think. I mean, that's just, I don't know. That's what makes sense to me.
She doesn't live in her apartment anymore. She doesn't show up to her office. I know that she has a factory that she runs her operation from, but I can't find it.
I see. I might be able to help. Tomoe and Noriko used to spend a lot of time together. I'm not sure what they used to get up to, but...
Also, that could have been pure coincidence. He showed up at Tomoe's house pretty on the dime, like she'd been dead. That's something else to think about.
I checked the travel history on Tomoe's IC card, and she made a lot of trips to Shinokubo.
Her IC card. For people traveling by train every day, buying single-use tickets is often a pain in the ass. Reusable IC cards are much more convenient. You can top them up with money and simply swipe them at the ticket gates to have your train fare automatically deducted. Best of all, they keep a record of your transaction history and the stations you've traveled to recently. The fact that Shinya even thought to look at Tomoe's travel history makes me want to reconsider my initial assessment of this guy's detective skills.
Shinokubo, you say?
Yeah. Can't imagine what she was doing there, but all the dates she traveled to that station coincide with days she claimed to be hanging out with Noriko.
still don't think Shinya realizes that Tomoe was in on Noriko's operation. Regardless, this is valuable information. Chances are good that Noriko and Tomoe spent a lot of time together at their factory, and that factory may very well be located in Shin Okubo. I'll feed this information to Junpei and see what he makes of it. Perhaps he knows something I don't.
Thanks for the info. That's enough for today. I'll contact you when I locate Noriko.
Oh. Say, just one more thing.
What is it?
If you've been wanting to kill her, then why haven't you just called her and asked her to meet up with you?
He thinks he's so clever. He thinks he has everything all worked out. He doesn't know shit.
It's not that easy. I need to find where she's living and running her operation from. I want to destroy everything involved with Corpse Girl. I want to burn her factory to the ground.
More lies. Lies on top of lies. The truth of the matter... The truth of the matter is that Noriko knows perfectly well my intentions for her, even if she temporarily forgets it during moments of delirium. She would never agree to meet up with me. Not now. Things were different not so long ago, but I missed that opportunity. Noriko worked out my position in the human removal service. She figured out that I am the Herald, the one responsible for slicing and dicing. Okay, fair enough. She doesn't know that there's more than one Herald, but that's irrelevant. And she doesn't know that I'm responsible for the mass of bodies littered across Tokyo thanks to Corpse Girl's website. However, as long as she knows I'm a threat, she'll never agree to meet with me. If there's multiple Heralds, do they all have access to the site? How she came to the conclusion that I'm the enemy is beyond me. She's a sharp person despite teetering on the edge of a total breakdown. It doesn't matter. The point is, I can't simply call and meet up with her. Besides, I actually do want to locate the factory just as much as I want to locate her. The factory is where I'll plant myself. It's where I'll start my life anew. It's where I'll grow and blossom into the new Corpse Girl once I've taken over Noriko's identity. Shinya is contemplating my answer. It seems good enough for him.
Fair enough. You want to see Corpse Girl completely and utterly defeated. I get that. That's your idea of justice.
Sure.
Agreeing with him will make this ordeal of a conversation end quicker.
I'm going to get some rest. So...
Okay. I understand. I'll take my leave. Call me when you locate Noriko, okay?
Yes.
Lie.
Farewell then.
He makes his way to the door, and I don't take my eyes off him until he disappears through the portal. When he's gone, I tiptoe toward the door and confirm it's fully closed, and make sure the door is snugly nestled in the wooden frame. I lock the door handle and slide the deadbolt into place.
The door is locked.
But is it?
The door is locked.
I can't be certain. To my eyes that fail me on a daily basis, that betray my mind with illusions and phantoms, the door seems to be locked. But why should I trust my eyes? I don't trust anyone. Why should I trust parts of myself? I can't even see colors clearly. Red, green, whatever. I can't see anything without the aid of my glasses. The door has to be locked. It has to be, otherwise I won't be able to walk away. I won't be able to stop thinking about it until I come back and check again and again and again and again.
The door is locked.
I turn away, take a deep breath, then immediately turn back.
The door is locked. The door is locked.
I'm pretty sure the deadbolt is in place. It certainly looks in place. I'm so exhausted. I'm tired of the routines and rituals. Why can't I just walk away? If I walked away, the problem wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be stuck standing here, checking and double-checking something so trivial. If I could walk away, I wouldn't be so full of stress, so worked up about things that ultimately don't matter. Another deep breath, and I take a step back.
Doors locked.
I turn, run, dash. I sprint through the room, sprint through the hallway. I slam my body into the bedroom door, throwing it wide open. And then I walk back and make sure that the door is locked. No, I'm just kidding. I collapse on my bed. I ignore the nagging in my brain telling me that the door is unlocked. I ignore it until it feels too real and I have to scratch at my flesh just to distract myself. I pull my pillow over my head and hold it tightly around my face. I'm safe here, safe in my bed. The door is locked. Locked. I try to convince myself to fall asleep, tell myself I'll feel better after I rest. I hope I lock the front door. Stop worrying about it being locked at all. Just let strangers in, it's fine. September 23rd, Wednesday morning.
So yeah, I reckon I'll have some work for you soon. The other heralds have been keeping the numbers up. There just haven't been any requests for this area lately, you know?
Yeah.
I'm only half listening to Junpei. He said something about why I haven't been tasked with killing anyone lately, but I don't really care about the reasons. Junpei is the only one in contact with the leader of the Human Removal Service. I just take orders like all the other heralds. Okay, that kind of explains how that works. Not that I've met any of them. Every herald has their own district, their own turf. If a request comes through our website, it gets allocated to the herald closest to the victim. It must have been a week since I last got to kill, maybe 2 weeks. It's not impossible for Shinya to be another herald. I think that would be like a twist within a twist, but it's not that I like killing, it's not that I want to do it. I fulfill the request simply as a way to antagonize Noriko. It's my role to play in backing her into a corner and shutting down Corpse Girl. And so far, thanks to my contributions to the Human Removal Service, we have been incredibly successful. Corpse Girl is all but a distant memory to the general public. If people really want to request somebody's death, they come to us, not to her. I don't plan on remaining with this group for much longer. After all, Noriko's pretty much already broken. She's a wreck. Once I find her, I'll possess her and quit this group. Then I'll finally have the life I always wanted, Noriko's life. I'll resurrect Corpse Girl when I feel like it. I'll use my inside knowledge to the Human Removal Service's operations to bring them down myself. After that, I'll be able to spend my days in peace, living free of fear, finally comfortable in being the girl I want to be. I'll truly be Noriko. Why is everybody's obsessed with Noriko to some degree?
Yo, babe, you in there?
Huh?
I suppose I drifted too far away. I rub my eyes, look at Junpei and flash him the sweetest fake smile.
I'm okay. Sorry, honey bear. I'm very tired.
Oh, don't sweat it. You want me to grab you a cup of coffee?
That would be lovely. You always know how to make me feel better.
Of course. I'm on it, babe. You wait right there.
Junpei stomps away and heads behind the bar, leaving me alone in this empty section of the cafe. I take a seat on one of the cardboard boxes lining the wall. The box is solid thanks to being packed full of various canned drinks. The Maid Cafe belongs to us in the early hours of the morning. The place doesn't open until noon, so there's no one here this early. I have my own keys these days, regardless of whether or not I'm supposed to. Junpei suggested that we use this place as a makeshift base of operations after I decided I was going to continue working here. That was some time ago now. Originally, I had truly planned to quit. I was going to work with Noriko. My manager at the time used to drive me insane. I couldn't wait to get away, but after I killed him, things here weren't so bad. The new manager's great. He doesn't pressure me to work shifts I don't want to. He doesn't let customers take advantage of the staff. Neither the new manager nor the other staff members care that Junpei and I meet up down here. It's not like we leave any incriminating evidence behind either. It's simply an easy place for us to meet up and talk since Junpei lives so far away from me. The added benefit is that we have access to cheap drinks and food thanks to my employee discount, so hanging out here is actually quite pleasant. That makes me wonder when Kojiro tailed Junpei and beat him up in the parking garage, why Aoi was there. If they've been kind of meeting here and been going to her place a lot, he went ahead of her, but yet she came after she got out. I mean, it's still possible, but I mean, I guess plot, you know, he also has plot armor to a degree. I wait for a while longer for Junpei to return. I really could use a coffee right now. His return is heralded by the thump of heavy feet against the tiled floor.
Got you, fam.
Junpei sidles up with me and hands me my favorite drink, a tall iced coffee with an extra espresso shot and a dollop of ice cream.
Oh, you're the best, baby.
Yeah, I know it.
He giggles in his insanely irritating high-pitched way and begins to chug down his own latte.
So I wanted to ask you a favor.
Anything for you, honeybee.
A tuft of milky foam sits on his top lip and I have to hold myself back from stabbing him in the face. Oh.
Noriko apparently spent a lot of time in Shin Okubo with her accomplice Tomoe.
Shin Okubo, huh? Good old K-Town. What'd they go there for? Karaoke?
Doubt it. Noriko sounds like a drowning cat when she sings.
Then what?
Well, I'd like to think that's where the factory is located.
Oh, gotcha. Ooh, you could be onto something. Trip from Kojiro's mark to Shin Okubo wouldn't take that long. Since they used to move a lot of bodies around, it's definitely a viable location.
I agree.
Right on, I'll look into it. I'll track down factories in that area and get my troops to investigate each one.
I'm careful not to let him see me roll my eyes. But his troops, by his troops, he means the guys he plays online games with. A bunch of teenagers that all look up to him because he's a top-ranked player. They're not involved with the human removal service. They're just pawns that Junpei uses to complete legwork around town. Sadly, they're happy to serve him because they all see him as their sensei.
Cool. Let me know what you find out. I'm itching to get this all over with. My love.
It's incredibly difficult to act pleasant around Junpei. My mouth tries to clamp itself shut every time I use a pet name or affectionate term. I know that my time to discard him is near. Once I become Noriko, then...
You can count on me, sweetums. Now drink up and get your energy back.
I take a sip of my iced coffee and can nearly taste it. Because my tongue is dead, the food and drinks I consume need to be extra strong or sweet for me to have a chance of enjoying the flavor. But Junpei doesn't know this. He just thinks I have a sweet tooth. He can think whatever he wants, because I just don't care. September 24th, Thursday morning. A message from Junpei arrives while I'm lying in the fetal position on my couch. Junpei, free Wi-Fi. Hey cutie, the guys checked out a bunch of factories yesterday. Got the location. Hit me up. I have to read the message twice to be sure my eyes aren't deceiving me like usual. Does he truly have the location I'm looking for? I take a calming breath. I don't want to jump to conclusions, especially with something involving Junpei. He has a tendency to exaggerate. It may just be trying to get me excited about some useless information. I send him a short reply requesting the info. I instantly receive a thumbs up emote, and then the text box changes to an animated ... as Junpei composes his follow-up message. The wait is agonizing. If Junpei pulls through for me here, I might finally learn Noriko's location. If all pans out, then everything could be over by tonight. It's hard not to get excited about the prospect. It's hard not to get ahead of myself. I could leave my death behind and never look back. I could become Noriko and live the happy life she has been keeping to herself all these years. The message finally arrives on my screen. It's an address, not that I expected anything else. A street name and a factory number in the Shin Okubo area. One more message from Junpei comes through. At Junpei free Wi-Fi. My guy saw a chick matching Noriko's description inside that factory. They thought she was a zombie. Ha! Go check it. This is it. As long as this information is solid, I have located Noriko's factory. My entire body begins to shake, an icy chill washes over me, as though I've just walked into a cold shower. It's a strange sensation for a dead girl to feel. Pain doesn't affect me, and yet the cold is something I can never banish from my bones. No time to focus on that. I have to stay calm, need to concentrate and pull myself together. I launch myself up from the couch and collect the backpack hanging over the coat rack. I unzip it, run my hands through its contents, and convince myself that everything I need is within. After swinging the bag over my shoulder, I throw open the apartment door and venture outside. Well, she's not actually dead, so what is going on? The factory is a rundown mess. How anyone can live here is beyond me. I suppose I'll just have to find a way to make it feel like home. Maybe once I'm inside Noriko's skin, I'll be able to understand why she is comfortable here. Yeah, the more I look at it, the better it seems. This will be my home. I'll be Noriko and live here happily ever after. I'll sit back and enjoy the life that she's been withholding from me. Firstly, I need to find somewhere to change my clothes. I can't kill someone if I'm wearing my nice dress. That's just not acceptable. I did consider changing at home, but then I would have scored funny looks from people on the train ride over here. Is it strange that a dead girl fears entering a socially awkward situation? I always go out of my way to avoid uncomfortable situations. Perhaps that's just a remnant of the life I once knew. Something I can't quite leave behind. It's the same as my obsessive compulsions. They cling to me like carrion flies swarming over my corpse. I shouldn't be worried about any of those things, but dead or not, my mind just can't just discard the anxieties that shape my entire life. Wait, what am I doing here? Oh, what am I doing? Why am I trapping myself in pointless thoughts? My goal is right in front of me. Noriko is on the other side of that brick wall, completely unaware of what is about to happen. A heavy-handed slap on my face doesn't sting, but it causes me to reevaluate what I'm doing. Focus. First, I'll change into the gear provided to me by the human removal service. Then I'll shimmy into the factory through an open window. I'll locate Noriko and drive a knife into her chest. I'll pluck her still beating heart from her body like a ripe strawberry, and then I'll carve my name into the pulsing, blood-spurting organ. Noriko's life will be over, and I'll be reborn. I'll baptize myself in her lifeblood and become the girl I've always wanted to be. And I'll be happy. Happy, just like Noriko. That smiling, carefree girl that I spent my youth with. The girl that faced her mother's attempted suicide with a stoic smile. The girl that didn't flinch when her father walked out. The girl that stayed inside day after day when the outside world just became too scary to face. The happy, carefree girl without a single real problem. She never knew how good her life was. She wouldn't have lasted a day in my shoes. I hate her so much. I'm going to become her. My backpack hits the ground with a dull impact. I tear my yellow sundress from my shoulders and let it fall to the ground, just like a snake sheds its skin. The cool afternoon breeze bites my naked skin and makes the tiny hairs across my body stand on end. Why can the dead feel the cold? The dead shouldn't feel anything. I crouch and rummage through my backpack, withdrawing my change of clothes. Slowly, calmly, deliberately, I dress myself in the dark gear that marks me as a herald, one of many. I note the comforting weight of the 4 knives concealed within my jacket, 1 on each sleeve and 2 against my chest. It's important to be armed to the teeth. After donning every article, I pull my broad mask out of the bag. A mask in the likeness of Corpse Girl, my enemy and my future identity. I slide the mask over my face and a curtain of calm descends over me. This is the last time I march forward in the name of the Human Removal Service. This is for my own personal agenda. The scheming of that rebellious group of killers no longer guides my hand. The time has come. I approach the factory's front entrance and try the door, simply out of curiosity. I don't expect Noriko to have lowered her guard so much, and yet the door swings open. She left it unlocked. Alright, I think this is a good spot to take a quick break. I'm gonna go make some coffee, and we will be right back. Let me know what you guys think so far. There's still a lot of little loose ends, I think. Alright, I think we're good to go. Hopefully everyone's back. I'll give it another moment just to make sure. I'm running out of room on my desk. Let's see. Maybe Noriko is a better person than Aoi. Everybody is messed up. Honestly, don't even know where to start with. Aoi is delusional and unhinged in her own right. And the only thing I can think is that she has experienced something so traumatic in her childhood that it has made her think she died. Because obviously, if she's dead, she wouldn't be here. I mean, so far nothing has been rooted in like fantasy, other than the obvious like the story is intended to be, you know, I don't want to say realistic, but it's not like magical. Everything has a reason or a purpose. So she's just a mental case like the rest of them. Maybe a little bit worse. Alright, let's see. The door swings open. She left it unlocked. A mistake I never would have made. A mistake I never would have made thanks to my overbearing compulsions. This place reeks of death. If I wasn't so accustomed to the smell, I'd probably vomit. Do dead girls vomit? The dull, steady hum of an air conditioner registers in my subconsciousness. In my consciousness, because it doesn't distract me from examining the surroundings. Get your head on together, waist. Countless empty body bags are strewn across the pockmarked concrete floor. Some are stained with brown blood and some are completely clean. A series of shelves, almost like warehouse racks, run along the walls and across the floor in haphazard patterns. Whoever planned this layout was out of their mind. However, this is home now. My home. Soon. Striding forward, I weave between shelves and step over the discarded body bags. So far, there has been no indication of Noriko's presence. Still, I draw a knife from inside my sleeve so that it rests in the palm of my hand. The metal handle is cold. Cold? Why do I feel cold? The entire factory is like a freezer. How can Noriko live here?
Hey.
My torso twists in reaction to the monotone syllable. The quick movement sends a shooting pain across my chest. Pain? Pain?
It's you. Hello, Harold. It took me a while, but I figured out what your mask is supposed to be. It's like an artistic representation of Corpse Girl, right? The Corpse Girl mascot that appears on my website.
Noriko flashes her phone at me, and I glare at the website displayed.
That's totally copyright infringement.
I don't know what to say to her. This isn't exactly how I imagined this counter would play out.
Why'd you fake Junpei Matsumoto's death? You know what I'm talking about, right? That time we met in the underground parking lot. You planted a look-alike corpse to fool us into thinking Junpei had died. Total Corpse Girl move, by the way. Guess you stole that strategy from me, too. I sense a lawsuit.
She steps forward with a hand outstretched. I instinctively lash out with my knife and slash her wrist. But her hand comes to rest on my shoulder, the tiny nick from my inaccurate blade not even prompting a spurt of blood.
Ouch! That stung a little.
The warmth of her hand seeps into my shoulder. It's almost comforting.
Aoi, I miss you. I really miss you. Can you take off the mask? Can we just talk?
I don't take off the mask. I don't know why I'm standing here listening to her. I don't know why her presence and her reassuring hand has caused me to lower my guard. She smiles. This is the happy, carefree Noriko I grew up with.
You're so beautiful, Aoi. I'm really sad we can't be together. How are things with your boyfriend?
That single useless word crawls out of my rotting mouth like a diseased maggot. It's all I can bring myself to say.
You can't tell me? That's okay. You used to be so open with me. And then, you died.
What?
We tried to keep our friendship going after that, but we've never really been the same since then, have we? I hope you get the help you need, Aoi. I hope one day we can put all of this behind us.
My fingers loosen, the grip on my knife weakening. It falls to the concrete ground. I don't need it anymore. I tense my arms and squeeze my hands together, desperately trying to crush Noriko's throat beneath my fingers. Her skin is warm and flesh is red as my grip tightens. She kicks against me, but the pain doesn't register. She's weak and frail. Her strangled cry is drowned out by my own grunts of exertion. Anemic fingers swipe at my arms constantly, only serving to irritate me. I could hold her neck in one hand and use my other to plunge a knife into her face. I could continue to strangle her until I crush her windpipe, or I could slash her stomach open and let her intestines spill out onto the ground. All of the options are appealing. All of the options can be put into motion within seconds. I take my right hand off her neck and slip it into my jacket, ready to pull out a knife. My left hand closes tighter around her on her neck, and Noriko closes the distance between us, causing my elbow to bend and allow her closer. Her forehead slams into my own, and my neck recoils backwards. I'm falling to the ground, only able to blink once as I try to work out what just happened. She somehow summoned the strength to headbutt me. Frail, weak, ghostly Noriko. She actually stood up for herself. She actually struck the person she loves. I'm dazed but ultimately uninjured. I didn't even feel the impact of my skull against concrete when I landed flat on my back. Noriko towers over me and rubs her neck, her ragged breathing even louder than the thrumming air conditioner.
Sorry, Aoi. I had to defend myself. Please, get up. Let's talk about things.
I get up. I slip the knife into her side and feel it slide neatly between two of her ribs. Her taut, thin skin does nothing to resist impalement. Noriko looks down at the wound and mumbles in surprise. I drive the knife in deeper, and with a flick of my wrist, I pull it sideways, slashing her belly wide open. An arcing stream of blood sprays from the savage wound and forms a macabre rainbow before me. Noriko coughs and gags as she frantically tries to stem the tide of blood with her hands.
Damn it! Corpse girl will
She falls to her knees.
get you.
Her empty threat falls with her, and her face slams into the concrete. Noriko Kurosawa is dead. Using the very same knife that slashed her open, I cut along the seams of my jacket and skirt. I strip myself down with the blade until I'm standing cold and naked in the factory. It doesn't take long to strip Noriko down as well, but I'm extra careful with her clothes. I don't use the knife this time. I simply pull her dress up over her until it slides free from her motionless body. I hold the dress up against me, letting it press against my own form. I look down and admire the sight of myself, imagining what I'll look like when I wear it. I can finally become Noriko. I can wear her clothes, live in her factory, talk to her friends, work at her office. I can do all those things that she loved to do, all the things that made her happy. I slip the dress over my head and force my arms through the sleeves. It's a little long, but overall it fits me nicely. I'm Noriko Kurosawa. Interesting. Final act, Noriko Kurosawa. Act 3, clear. Huh. When Mother killed herself, she didn't die. Well, she died, but not really. It's a funny thought. Everything that she was, everything that made her Asuna Kurosawa, left this planet on that day. Her body remained, but her soul had departed. She got sent away to a care facility, and I didn't see her very often after that. On the rare occasions I visited her, I would always notice that her eyes no longer looked like mine. I hate her for what she did to our family. Yuriko and I were only children at the time, but Mother hung herself up from the ceiling and made us watch. She encouraged us to kick the chair out from underneath her. We didn't understand what she was doing. She told us it was a game. So we kicked the chair and we laughed. And Mother laughed, and then her neck snapped and she stopped laughing, and that light in her eyes that I once shared with her was extinguished instantly. Yuriko screamed and I screamed, and Mother just wouldn't move, and we couldn't get her down from the ceiling, and eventually Yuriko remembered how to call for the ambulance, and the paramedics arrived and we were taken away. And after that I was completely fucked up, because you don't just walk away from something like that and act like nothing happened. I spent years trying to force the painful memories of her attempted suicide out of my mind. But I didn't exactly cope with it very well. How could I? I became terrified of the world and became used to locking myself inside and wasting away. Yuriko dealt with it a little better than me. I can't say her rebellious behavior was the right way to cope, but it had to have been better, healthier than staying inside for weeks at a time. By the time I reached senior high school, I think I had mostly gotten past everything. The vision of Mother hanging from the ceiling in front of me didn't haunt my dreams. The sound of our laughter intermingled with screaming didn't always ring in my ears. Aoi helped me through a lot of it. She shared all of her problems with me, and it made me feel a bit better, like maybe my life wasn't so bad. Aoi's life was kind of messed up. Her father was arrested for various crimes and didn't spend much time in her life. When we were about ready to graduate, he came back to town and violently attacked her. She called me and told me that he killed her, but she killed him too, so it was all going to be okay, her words, not mine. I never understood what she meant when she said she was dead. I think graduating put some distance between us, so I never truly tried to figure out her words. My own problems came back to haunt me once I moved out of home. I became completely distracted and almost forgot about Aoi. The apartment I moved into. I should have known that the smell of mold wasn't normal. I should have paid attention to the shoddy repair work that had been performed on the wall. I should have just walked away and found somewhere else to live. But that apartment... I suppose that's where I started to lose control of my life. And that's exactly the reason why I need to return there. Several days later.
Looks the same as always.
I'm not looking forward to climbing the rest of the stairs up to the apartment. I can hardly walk at all, even on flat ground, but I have to do this. I can't let stitches and bandages and painkillers distract me from getting inside. Hold up now. There ain't no way. Yeah, she's going to the office being Noriko. All this talk Aoi had of, like, bathing in Noriko's blood and wearing her skin, and all she did was take her dress and walk away? And Noriko's fine? Ugh. Man. If you're gonna kill her, just do it. I have a hard time believing she survived that. I don't know how long I was in the hospital for. None of my personal effects were with me when I woke up. I had no phone, no purse, no handbag. But the doctors monitored me for a few days and then let me go, even though I told them I had nowhere to return to. They just threw me onto the street. Also not terribly likely. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how she survived or anything that's going on right now. They couldn't even tell me what happened to the girl who attacked me. They had no idea if she'd been arrested or not. Yeah, it's one shoddy hospital you ended up at. I have a feeling she's still out there. Regardless, I'm here now. My wound is apparently on the mend, and I don't have any signs of infection. All I have to focus on is the ascent in front of me. Each step I climb is more difficult to conquer than the last. Each time I raise my leg, I experience a tearing, searing agony along the length of my stomach. More than once I have to stop and check if my stitches haven't torn wide open. Yeah, who called the ambulance? Like, so much. What has happened here? Because my impression was that Aoi was gonna just tear Noriko's body apart. When I'm sure my flesh is more or less intact, I continue scaling the mountain. My head throbs and beads of sweat drip down my face. When I hit the landing on the level below my own apartment, I spy a familiar face.
Noriko?
Momo Ogawa, the daughter of Kenji Ogawa, the man I framed in order to maintain my innocence.
Hey, Momo. Dad!
Her panic cry isn't the reaction I was suspecting. Her father is exiting their apartment just as Momo cries out. He does a double take before glaring at me.
Surprised to see you here.
Yeah, I thought so too. I can't quite get a grasp of his tone. Is he happy to see me or angry? Does he even know that I'm the reason he was arrested? Well, I'm assuming that the police let him go fairly quickly. After all, he's here at his home and not rotting in a cell.
Hello.
The landlord said you disappeared.
Yeah, kind of.
Are you okay? You look like...
His gaze turns to the hospital tags adorning my wrists and a package of spare bandages I have slung over my shoulder.
You know, you disappeared right around the time the police...
Huh?
Forget it. It's nothing.
I have a bad feeling that he's beginning to piece something together. If he works out that I'm behind his false arrest, then...
Sorry, I should go.
Yeah. Come on, Momo.
Bye-bye, Noriko. Bye, Momo.
The girl waves excitedly as her father leads her downstairs. I should feel relieved that he's safe, but honestly I just feel guilty. My actions, Corpse Girl's actions, put a lot of strain on that little family. I have to keep going. The last flight of stairs is torture on my battered body, but I persevere and reach the front door of my apartment. It's at this time that I remember I don't have any keys to get in. Shit. Out of desperation, I try turning the handle and the door opens. Either I left the place unlocked or the landlord has been inside and forgot to lock up. I'm just thankful that I can keep moving forward. The curtains are open, bathing the living area in a soft light.
I'm home.
No problem, have a good one. Thanks for popping in. Home. No, that's not right. This isn't my home. This isn't Noriko's home. This is Corpse Girl's home. I never really lived here, I simply existed within these walls. The real Noriko was held hostage by an omnipotent presence sealed in this home. The things here are just as I left them so long ago. It's a comforting feeling, but at the same time it sends a chill down my spine. It's time to move on. I stride with purpose towards the kitchenette and slide open one of the drawers. Inside is a small mallet with a metal head. It's a treasure I acquired from the garden shed on the apartment grounds back when I first moved in. It's not very large, but that suits me just fine. I don't have the strength to wield anything bigger than this. Bringing it to bear is still a great deal of effort. I grip the handle with both hands and lift the deceptively heavy tool. Equipped with this tiny weapon of destruction, I slowly lurch through the hallway. I make my way to the very end, where the blank, stark white wall faces me. The paint on the wall is peeling, like it was slapped on without care. The plaster is cracked, like it was applied by an amateur, and the lingering stench of mold is at its strongest when I stand in front of this door. I bring the mallet down with both arms, the heavy metal head crashing into the wall with as much force as I can muster. The struggle of bearing the mallet is taking its toll on my wound. I feel the stitches in my stomach threatening to snap and break. But I can't stop here. I can't stop until I've crushed this wall and revealed the glittering contents of the trove hidden inside. Another swing and another crash against plaster. A cry of pain and another hole in the wall. I scream and swing and hammer and groan and slash and weep, and the wall crumbles beneath my sheer force of will. White dust clouds my vision and provokes me into a coughing frenzy. When my eyes and throat clear up, I throw the mallet to the carpet and venture forward. I clamber through the human-sized hole in the wall and find myself within the secret cache on the other side. I see. The stench assaulting my nostrils no longer disguises itself as mold. It's the fetid malodor of rot and decay. The big words hard. An inimitable trademark of decomposing corpse. Jesus. I spent so long fooling myself into believing it was nothing concerning. I spent so long pretending that a corpse did not live within the walls of this apartment. The truth is, this corpse pinned to the wall is the root of all evil. It's an infinite fount of misery and despair and malice and death and hatred. This is Corpse Girl.
Hello, old friend.
I mean, I know you could smell it, but how'd you know? I don't know. Corpse does not reply. To call it a corpse is no longer entirely accurate. It has become a little more than a skeleton, an osseous edifice, a macabre tribute to the unyielding sands of time. Bone and flesh and hair and fabric blend and intertwine and meld together to form a sickening representation of human beauty. I used to think this body was pure perfection. Back when the corpse was more or less intact, it was the image of a gorgeous, vibrant young woman. I aspired to become just as beautiful. Slender, elegant, graceful, with pale skin and dark eyes. Looking at her now, it's clear to see that I was deceived. The form before me is not beautiful. It's revolting. I shaped myself in the image of death, truly believing I was transcending mortal beauty. It smells like yeah, exactly. Now I'm wondering, judging by the way she's talking, I wonder if he just like... No, I know he sealed it off. Or did he? Did he even seal it off? Or did she seal it off? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. This corpse controlled me for so long. This corpse manipulated me and made me want to become just like it. Somewhere along the way, my own identity began to dissolve, and I started to believe that I had become this rotting carcass, this placid bag of flesh. The spell has been broken. I don't know if it's because of my near-death experience or the clarity of mind inspired by an intoxicating cocktail of painkillers, but the clarity of mind, Jesus. I'm just failing this tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I no longer want to associate myself with Corpse Girl. I want to be myself, just Noriko. I no longer want to kill in the name of this blasphemous effigy.
Corpse Girl. I found you here. Trapped in this storage closet. Just over a year ago.
Yeah. She got her stomach cut open and it caused everything in her head to align just right. Okay, so
You stole my life from me.
he just left her there. What? Why did he think that was alright? Looking at her now, I can't help but wonder what the hell went through my mind when I let her possess me. Why did discovering this corpse have such a profound, lasting effect on my psyche? I shut my eyes as a wave of dizziness threatens to overcome me. Staggering in the near darkness, I struggled to regain my balance. I had blocked out the memory of discovering this corpse for so long, I refused to acknowledge it ever happened. But the crystallized fragments of that forgotten memory has finally breached the surface of my consciousness. I can finally recall the event thanks to the clarity brought about by my current state of mind. She does have a lot of painkillers and such in her system. It happened several days after I moved into this apartment. The musty smell of mold lured me to the wall at the end of the corridor. the wall that had been hastily patched up and covered with plaster and paint. I wondered about the source of the smell. I figured it might be a leak, a busted pipe that needed repair. Instead of calling upon the landlord for assistance, I took matters into my own hands. Perhaps I was inspired by my newfound independence. I had just become a free young woman living on my own for the first time. Perhaps I was just stupid. I located a mallet in the garden shed. I tore down the wall. I found Corpse Girl, and in that moment I fell to my knees. Someone had hung this corpse upon the wall and decorated the storage room with books and photographs. The sight of a dead woman bearing down on me instantly unearthed the buried memories of my mother's attempted suicide. The pain and despair that I had repressed for so long found its way out of my mouth and formed an unholy scream. I think the fear of that discovery and the subsequent revival of subdued memories caused me to slip in and out of consciousness. I was paralyzed by fear and my entire body was racked with pain. Looking back now, I feel like I must have spent days lying in a heap on the floor of the storage closet. Days spent within a dreary haze of dread and depression and distress. Days spent at the feet of that hanging corpse, that form I began to look up to and idolize. Days spent in a lull, a fever dream, surrounded by photographs on the wall of all manner of corpses. Days and days of my soul and identity slipping between my fingers. Something must have eventually cracked inside me because I remembered getting to my feet and repairing the wall. I don't know how I did it, but I patched it up and painted over it and vacuumed up all the dust and debris from the carpet. And then the memory of the entire incident just vanished from my mind. So I guess my real question is how did the landlord not realize that there was a whole storage closet missing? Kojiro just threw up some plaster and paint and called it a day, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this wall's always been like this. The only relic I retrieved from that storage space was a single book, a heavy tome that must have tumbled out of the closet during my delirium. Pensée Photography, a comprehensive history of photo manipulation. Now, Corpse Girl doesn't look the way she used to. Uncovering her today hasn't shocked me into submission like it did all that time ago. Am I stronger now? No, not really. But I was prepared to face her this time, and now I'm here to bury her. As I calmly assess how difficult it will be to retrieve her from her position, my eyes fall upon the dozens of photographs plastered haphazardly across the walls. Photographs of nameless bodies printed with an instant camera. There must be 10 or 20 or 30 corpses across the entire series of images. I don't recognize any of them. That's the only comfort I can take from viewing the images. The comfort that I'm not the one who's decorated this room with these macabre visuals. Whoever put these photos up is undoubtedly the same person responsible for hanging Corpse Girl on the wall. All the photos look so real, and all of the corpses are in such normal situations. There's an image of a decomposing body sitting on a bench, waiting at a train platform. He's wearing a suit like any ordinary businessman. Another image is of a headless couple at a dinner table, dressed in their Sunday best. They are sharing a candlelit meal. Corpses going about their daily life. It's eerily reminiscent of something else I've encountered before. What is it, a book I read? Instinctively, my eyes dart to the pile of books toppled over in the corner of the storage room. There are dozens of duplicate books, as if they were abandoned here by their own author. I crouch and dust the cover of the book at the top of the pile. Of course, this is how this is gonna go. Dazed by the Dead by Nobel Sinclair. Nobel Sinclair. Underneath 10 more copies of that volume is a different book with a familiar cover. Strange Flower. I know this. The very same book that Kojiro lent me so long ago, except the book is not some worn, well-read library copy. It's in pristine condition, save for a layer of dust coating it, and there are nearly a dozen copies of this book as well. Somebody intentionally abandoned these books here, and the fact they are accompanying so many photos of corpses, not to mention Miss Corpse Girl herself, is no coincidence. These books and photos, as well as the copy of false photography I found here so long ago, all of this somehow embedded itself into my consciousness and inspired me to start Corpse Girl's website. I'm sure of it. This room, this fucking cursed room, ruined my life and corrupted my mind. And I have to wonder if somebody planned it all. Did somebody leave all these things here in order to break whoever entered? That's probably a far-fetched concept, but I'm desperate to place the blame on somebody, anybody but myself.
Enough.
A light slap to my face snaps me out of my inner ramblings. It's time to bury Corpse Girl and put this life behind me once and for all. I can't really atone for the things I've done this last year. Hell, I don't actually feel like I need to atone. It's not guilt that's eating me up inside. But at the very least, I can move on. I carefully remove the restraints tying Corpse Girl to the wall and feel the weight of her rotting body collapse against my own frail form. Her head leans against my shoulder, and for a brief moment I pause and let her rest against me. I run a hand through what's left of her hair. She's been through a lot. We both have. We're both Corpse Girl. Well, we used to be. Now we're just empty husks with no purpose. If we're not Corpse Girl, we'll probably be forgotten, lost to time and memory. For once in my life, I'm looking forward to being forgotten. Oh, Kojiro. Final, clear. Ending B, false. Noriko Kurosawa. What does false mean? This isn't the true ending? Aoi and I used to always dream about getting away, breaking away from all the stress and tension of our everyday world. She dreamt of going somewhere cold for a winter getaway, somewhere she could snuggle up by a warm fireplace and drink hot cocoa and feel at peace. I told her I'd like to visit a sunny holiday destination. But I don't know why I said that back then. It was a lie. I hated the sun. The harsh light and the warmth always used to leave my skin feeling prickly and scorched. However, things have changed, through no plans of my own. For some reason, leaving behind the life of Corpse Girl helped me appreciate a few of the little things in life. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just happy I survived. Maybe I'm just glad I don't have to keep living in that accursed apartment. I haven't fully recovered from the stab wound Aoi inflicted upon me. I haven't fully recovered from the scars she left in my heart. I don't think I will ever be 100% healthy again. My doctor says these things take time, but maybe a slight limp and a dull ache in my gut from time to time is a small price to pay for my life. I made the decision a few weeks ago to attempt a beachside vacation. It went well. Pale, ghostly Noriko Kurosawa sat on a beach and attempted to get a tan. I did it for myself, not out of some misguided notion that I should live out a dream vacation for Aoi's sake. Aoi can go on her own damn vacation whenever she wants. It's not like she's limping around with a cane and a serpentine scar across her beautiful skin. It's not like she had to struggle against the entire world just to get on an airplane. The beach was gorgeous. The water was pristine. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. But those moments of sunshine and relaxation were fleeting. Sitting alone now in this empty apartment makes that painfully clear. I had to return to Tokyo eventually. It was inevitable. But it feels like there's nothing here for me anymore. Maybe I'll move once more, go to Osaka or Nagoya. No one in Tokyo for me. Aoi, Kojiro, they're either dead or dead to me. Tomoe doesn't call me, doesn't answer her messages. Shinya, nothing, no one in Tokyo for me. My eyelids close gently and the sweet embrace of sleep takes me. I decide to go for a walk to clear my mind, my head. But after returning to my new apartment building, I somehow forgot my apartment number. I've only just moved in after all.
Shit. How could I forget something so important?
I wander the cold hallways trying to locate my place. 238 or 248, which one was it? Completely lost, I decide to turn around and search in the opposite direction. As I turn, a slightly open door catches my attention. Who would leave their door open? Anyone could walk into your apartment and steal your belongings. This thought quickly scampers off as I find myself pushing the door ever so gently. It swings open slowly, revealing a room lit only by the flickering light of a television.
You left your door open. Is anyone in there?
My timid voice sounds unfamiliar to my own ears. I realize that I've rarely spoken in the last few days, save for the occasional pleasantry exchanged with the staff from the moving company. When no answer from within the room is forthcoming, I take a careful step inside. No sound comes from the television in the corner. It has been muted, but the screen has been left on for some reason. My eyes strain to peer into the near darkness. Once my eyes finally decipher the scene before me, I realize that I'll never be able to delete the vision that has plagued me for most of my life. You're kidding. What were the chances? Oh, I see. My mother hangs from the ceiling, a rope coiled around her neck like a boa constrictor. Her mouth is agape, a half smile, half scream upon her lips. Her eyes are vacant and stained black with the filthy muck of regret, and her legs dangle, helpless, unable to secure a foothold upon the chair that has fallen to the ground. The chair that I kicked out from under her while I laughed and laughed along with Yuriko. A thick clump of bile bubbles up within my throat, and it takes all my strength to resist keeling over and vomiting. The body hanging above me, the soulless corpse peering down at me. This is not my mother. This person, this nameless woman, she's been dead for hours at least. I didn't kick the chair out from under her. Yuriko isn't here laughing alongside me. I'm here alone. The woman isn't struggling. She isn't pleading for help or forgiveness. She isn't cursing her stupid mistake. She's gone. She's just gone. Her soul is departed for whatever afterlife awaits us once we leave this purgatory. She is nothing more than a hanging corpse, nothing more than a sack of flesh and bone. The disgusting urge to throw up begins to ebb away as I stare up at the ceiling. The light of the television illuminates the corpse's face briefly, revealing skin gently kissed by light freckles and eyes creased with soft wrinkles. She's older than me, perhaps by a decade, but she is by no means less beautiful than I am. Her hair is long and soft, and I get the sudden urge to brush it aside, to sweep it away from her eyes and tell her everything is going to be okay. Before I can even understand it, I am standing upon the bed in order to reach up to the ceiling. I rest one hand lightly on her shoulder, then I go ahead and brush some of those stray locks from her eyes with my fingers. If I look past those empty eyes, those eyes that stare at me and see everything I am, if I look past them, I see a truly gorgeous woman before me. I'm utterly entranced by her. I rest my cheek against hers, her skin still surprisingly warm. Perhaps she did not perish as long ago as I initially assumed.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why I say those words. Maybe it's guilt? Guilt. I caused a lot of people to end up like her, forced them to end their own lives out of fear or distress or desperation. No, that's wrong. I'm not guilty of those things. Corpse Girl is the one responsible. It's not my fault those people died. I wasn't myself. Regardless, to think that I helped Corpse Girl destroy so much beauty makes me feel ill.
What's your name?
The corpse doesn't answer.
A silent type, eh? That's okay. It's kind of cute.
JK, she's not sane. Oh, sorry. So Noriko, explained to us, that she had found that corpse, in her apartment within the first few days of moving in. It kind of took her by surprise and brought back a lot of memories, and kind of was what initiated the whole Corpse Girl issue. It kind of, I would say, re-broke her mind after she had kind of gotten past, we'll say quote-unquote, got past her mother's attempted suicide. And so she took the corpse down, buried it. She moved to a different apartment, And I guess within the first day, a couple hours of being there, she happened to find an apartment with the door cracked. When she went inside, there's just some lady hanging from the ceiling. So I think Noriko just attracts death. This is apparently the end. It did say it was a false ending. So I guess that means that I'll have to figure out how to get our true ending. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I don't know when you messaged that. I might have. I wasn't really looking as I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on screen. I guess we'll have to figure out, or go down the rest of the endings if they're not too terribly long. So now she has this corpse. She's standing, I guess she said, on the bed, and she's talking to it.
My name's Noriko. Are you hungry? Can I treat you to a meal?
No reply.
Shh. It's okay. Come on. I'll get you down from there. Let's get you dressed. I'll put you in something nice. It's warm outside, so how about a light dress?
Nothing. Imagine just being so grief-stricken, and when I say imagine, don't think too hard about it, but that, you know, just imagine a situation where you're like, I want to end it all, and then you do, and then somebody just comes in and like starts like dressing your body up and weird shit like that. Like, that sounds awful. Like, we need a little respect for the dead. Please, thank you. It takes some time to unloop the rope from her neck and return her to the floor safely. Some part of my subconscious knows exactly how to move her carefully, to dress her, to apply her makeup and bring out her inner beauty. I can't recall if I've done something like this before. Have I taken a corpse out to dinner before? I can't recall if I just read about it in a book or if I've experienced a similar situation. This girl needs some serious help. Just because she's dead doesn't mean that I shouldn't treat her right. Just because she's dead doesn't mean she's not beautiful and worthy of my love. After a bit of time, my gorgeous friend is dressed to impress. We're ready to go out for dinner. She's not very talkative, so I'll place her order and keep the conversation going. People might look at us, they might stare or even judge us, but we'll be okay. We're two beautiful young women simply enjoying each other's company. She'll start to decay soon, like a strange flower wilting moments after being taken out of the water. As for me, I think I've been decaying for a long time. Yeah, you have. I hope this nameless corpse girl can help me feel alive again. She offers me a slight smile as I take her hand and lead her out the building, out into the blinding lights of the hallway. I blush. Epilogue. Noble Sinclair. We just got the false ending for sure, so I'll have to see what that means. 1 year later. Noble Sinclair 1 year later? Wait a second. The book is almost warm in my hand. It's a pristine volume, fresh off the printing press. Paperback, though I'd have preferred hardback. Been a while since I last published a book. Years. The few fans I have probably thought I disappeared off the face of the planet. I did, in a way. Not my fault. Death is death. Noble Sinclair died in a fire inside his family home. That was a long time ago. Even though my name burned to ash, my body survived. Had to pick up a new name after that. Can't wander this planet without one. This body went on living for quite a while with the new name. I even grew to like it. Then the strangest thing happened. Another fire inside a morgue this time. The new name went up in flames. My body survived. Again. Fate? Don't know. Felt a bit lost after that. Felt a bit unlike anybody. I decided to pick the old name back up, dusted it off, pinned it to my chest. Noble Sinclair. It always suited me. Mother gave it to me after all. This time, I didn't want to completely disregard my existence. The time spent as another man, too much happened. I've got too much to tell, too many tales to keep to myself. So this new book tells the entire story from start to end. Ah! Our boy survived! How crazy is that? Wasn't easy typing page after page with only one arm. One of the most taxing and challenging things I've ever attempted. But now it's done. Soon this new volume will hit store shelves across the country. Is it just me, or does this one remaining forearm look really, really short? Soon this new volume will hit store shelves across the country. The world will know everything. I used pseudonyms throughout the book to protect the identities of the guilty. Didn't print Noriko Kurosawa's real name even once. Didn't identify Junpei Matsumoto or Aoi Sato. Didn't call out Tomoe Watanabe or even that wannabe detective that always chases me, Shinya Fujikawa. And most importantly, I didn't print my previous name. Not that name, anyway. I confessed a lot of things within this text. I even confessed my involvement with the Human Removal Service. Getting caught up in that organization's web of death wasn't something I ever intended to do. It wasn't something Kojiro ever would have done. But it was necessary in order to finish this latest book. Nobel Sinclair rose through the ranks of the Shadow Society within mere weeks. Chalk it up to his, or my, macabre experiences. Couldn't have done it without the connections I formed as Kojiro. Couldn't have done any of this without him. I'm at the top of the ladder now, so to speak. Got a bunch of killers on my payroll. Even the dog Junpei is on my leash now. Don't know where I'll go from here. Original plan was to shut the Human Removal Service down. I think I called it Society just now. Previously. I might be wrong, but sorry if I did. Delete its existence as a final act of love for Noriko. But the power is nice. The power is intoxicating. Again, Kojiro wouldn't have toyed around with something like this. I'm not Kojiro. I look over the book in my hand once more. It's heavy, full of words that carry more weight than they should. Whether people believe the content of this book is out of my control, but those with keen intellect will surely be able to piece the truth together. My eyes scan the cover and read over the large embossed letters. Corpse Factory, a novel by Nobel Sinclair. I've never been more proud of my work. Yeah, his something about his forearm picture is really making this picture unsettling. But he made it! I'm so happy! The end. There we go. Man, and all I want is more. Sarcophagus sealed. Clear the game. Let's see what that gave us. We are missing 3 CGs. Let's go back through real quick. And I'm not going to explain all these like I do at the beginning of these streams, but we'll take a look at each of them. We've come so far. Gosh. Starting this game, I really thought we were going to stay in the perspective of Noriko the entire time, but we didn't. It was actually really nice. Honestly, the writing of this is really nicely done, and my only regret in playing this and streaming it and reading it for everybody is that I'm terrible at doing so. So I'm glad I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and listening to my ramblings as I try to piece together the wording in the story. What a twist at the end, man. So much has happened. This is probably one of my favorites. I love this scene. Kojiro just matter-of-factly like, I know who you are. This is also really nice. It's one of the very few times you get to see them kind of happy. Let's see. After I finish going through these CGs, we'll probably take another quick break. And, I might go back. I don't know. I want to go. Oh, I forgot that changed. I want to go back and pick a different answer. What I don't want to do is get caught up in like hours of the same story. But it does seem like there was this change here. Somewhere in here. Let me see, where was my last? I don't remember where the last question was. How crazy was this? She took it out on a date. She dressed it up and she went out with it, just as Nobel Sinclair did in Strange Flowers. And then furthermore, Kojiro did survive. He is actually Nobel Sinclair, and he wrote the book Corpse Factory when he took up his old name. And basically told the details of this the story in his book. This was the false ending. So now I think the goal is going to be figure out where the true ending is. Which I think I will at least start during the stream. I'm not sure. It's gonna depend on how difficult it is. As a matter of fact, I might just take a minute to look it up now that we've gotten through this really long route, because I can't imagine there is too much more to get to the true ending. But this was good. This was really good. What a twist. But yeah, go ahead, take off. Thanks for hanging around. You've been here like almost the entire time. It's been a lot of fun reading this to you and everybody else who's kind of filtered in. I didn't really expect to have as much fun as I did playing this. So now I want to kind of delve in and see where a real ending is. I'm excited. I'm probably going to take a minute to actually look up what we're missing. If it's like a whole bunch of things, I'll probably save it for the next stream. If it's just, like, you know, 10 or 20 minutes worth of content, I might go ahead and just knock it out. If you mean after this one, I have no idea. I really picked this up kind of randomly, but I can definitely see if I've got any more games that I'm interested in playing. And actually, I know I have one. I can't remember the name at the moment, but I believe I do have at least 1 or 2 more games of this similar nature sitting in my library that need to be played, and I definitely feel like I want to pick up something new after this if I have anything. Yeah, this was good. This was really good. Also, I guess I guess my PNG tuber stopped working. That's okay. So I am working on a new PNG tuber. It was kind of funny how that was timed out because I was getting ready to mention that. So I might take a day to finish her up and get my layout looking a little bit better, and then I'll come back with a new stream. I don't think I mentioned it vocally yesterday, but I am going to start trying to post when I'm streaming up on Twitter, just to have somewhere to post it. Next part of the game in the next stream? We'll see. Like I said, it depends on if it's going to be super short or not. Like, if it's going to be another few hours a game, then yeah. But I've got to actually look into it because I have no idea where to go from here. But I think this was, well, this being our quote-unquote false ending, this was, I think, the ending that we were supposed to get first, I imagine. It did say that I completed the game too, so there can't be but so much more. I think we're missing three CGs. A little bit more. I don't know what this one here is. Maybe this was a dead end. I really thought this one was going to be a dead end. I tell you what, if I decide to complete it this stream, I will let you know the next time I see you. If I did or not, that way you can go watch it if you want to. We'll see. I'm gonna take a break right now. I think we did really good tonight. Alright, I'm back. Have a good night. Actually, as I've thought about it, it might be better to just call it for tonight. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if in the afternoon or evening. Just to finish up some of the loose ends. I figure they might take a minute. And if they don't, I mean, we can always fix something else up. This has been really fun. I've definitely enjoyed the series. And I appreciate you watching. Yeah, I think I'll be back tomorrow night. As long as everything goes well, we'll finish up endings, and maybe we'll just figure out what we're gonna do next. I definitely want to keep going. Like, I'm like in the zone. Like, this has really kind of got me pumped for playing some more thriller suspense games. So yeah, like I was saying before, I will probably be changing my VTuber model within the next week or so if I can't get it done super fast. It's just gonna depend on when I get around to finishing it up. But she's very cute. If you haven't seen it yet, I did post a video of kind of what she looks like. I was working on her the other day, like 2 days ago, maybe 3. You can still find that stream on Twitch as well, I think for the next couple days. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging out, and this is gonna be it for tonight. Have a good one, guys.